Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Talking About Birds, the only Cardinal podcast that, like the Cardinals' high chew supply, is a scattered mess. My name is Nate Heininger, and I am joined by my co-host, Ben Samorka.
Hey, Nate H.
Thank you to Christopher from the Birds Gourd for that opening bit. If you have an idea for the opening bit, text or leave us a voicemail at 848-48-BIRDS, or you can, of course, join the Birds Gourd. Shout out to the patrons through Patreon on the Birds Gourd. That, of course, a reference to the blow up of the season, Hambone. Everyone's talking about it. Willson Contreras unloading on a poor defenseless bucket of bubble gum. That gum didn't deserve that treatment.
Well, wait, high chew is not bubble gum, Nate.
Excuse me.
Was it high chew or was it bubble gum?
It is high chew. What is high chew? High chew is
it's like a gummy.
It's like a gummy
candy.
Yeah. You're right.
I think they are from Japan. They're delicious.
I'm so sorry to all of our high chew stands, and just I'll be working on a notes app apology here shortly. So I'm sorry to everybody. So high chew strewn about. We'll talk a little bit more about the Willson Contreras blow up here in a little bit, but I gotta say something that I've really appreciated is a development of the podcast and our listeners is anytime something silly happens on field, I'm starting to get numerous options for the opening bit. I also got a couple via text message from our last episode that I'm excited to use on future episodes. So thank you everyone for contributing. And I enjoy the fact that if something stupid happens on field, like the Pete Grow Armstrong one generated a bunch as well. I look forward to everyone somehow turning that into roasting us. Hambone, you just went to a Rockies game, though. You've submitted yourself again to the torture that is viewing the 2025 Rockies. How was your experience?
Yeah, the weather's good.
Great.
And
we love weather, don't we, folks? Let me tell you.
And the game was really bad, though. They lost by quite a bit. I think it was like 8 or 9 runs. But what was really exciting is that we were taking a friend and his daughter to the Rockies game for the first time. So, we're getting ice cream.
Sure.
We're meeting Dinger. We're doing it all. First time at the ballpark. Let's leave everything out there. Let's hold nothing back, at least just this one time.
Fun fact, both of my daughter's first ever baseball game in person was at Coors Field to see a Cardinal game with you. So it's also pretty funny. Yeah. It's fun and a fact.
So we went and took photos with Dinger, which was great.
Great.
And the on-field announcer, the guy that's running the games and reminding you to choose Excel Energy and whatever the hell else he does. He's standing right next to us while we're getting our Dinger photo. He realizes that my wife has a Triceratops tattoo on her leg, and he's goes.
Did you beat him up for looking at your wife's leg?
That was later. But he's sitting in a promotional Forerunner. He hops out of the driver's seat. He runs over. He goes, Dinger, Dinger, Dinger. Do you see this tattoo? Do you see what's on her leg? Dinger starts going he starts miming oh my God,
and starts spinning 360 degrees. Yeah.
The handler's going out of control. We're taking photos. It was I think it may have been the best moment of my wife's life. She was recognized by Dinger.
Yeah.
She was recognized by the on-field talent who we adore. This guy. It was really just a culmination of everything.
That's what she's been working for a decade plus now. Since you've been in Colorado.
She has not been too quiet about her aspirations to take Dinger's job at some point. So I think, you got to get in and then you start undermining, right?
Dude,
you start you poisoning, whatever. We'll figure it out. But we're one step closer.
If you were really on top of your game, you would have tossed her a baton right then.
Damn. I should just have a baton on me at all times. For context, my wife was a state champion batoner.
Is that a batoner? Is that the?
I don't know, but botanist.
Yeah, I think it's botanist. That's what they. Yeah, I think it's another word. I think it's like baton twirler or something like that. I don't think it's batoner.
What is someone who
Please
batons
only check the AI overview. Do
call?
not scroll down. Do not scroll down.
I will not. Someone who batons, specifically a person who twirls a baton, is most commonly called a baton twirler.
Hey, all right. Put one
That's
on the board for
only
old
AI
ADH.
overview, so
Yeah,
who knows?
good. We check here on this podcast. We don't scroll past the AI overview.
Oh wait, there's a little more to this AI overview. You can also a shorter, informal term, twirler.
Oh, sure.
Majorette is a term for a female baton twirler, often part of a marching band.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
Wow.
thanks.
We're all
AI.
learning something today. Great. Well, that sounds fantastic. I mean, so thinking through some of your experiences at Coors, I know you've been on the jumbotron chugging a beer,
Hell
and
yeah.
now your wife has been witnessed by Dinger. I mean, what more could you ask for? Maybe you just need to close the book on Coors Field. I don't know if you can ever go back and
I think
achieve.
maybe just close the book.
Yeah.
Maybe we're just done.
I think you might be done. Yeah.
Well, see
you
you later.
later. Wow. Dumb and Dumber. We love it, don't we, folks?
Okay.
Congrats on that moment. We're all super proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd like to be clear. I was mostly just witness to this.
Uh-huh.
I was, in awe, mouth agape, ice cream in hand.
Spray yourself with silver spray paint in the
Go
face.
to Valhalla. Yeah.
And just swan dive right onto the field.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's a good reference.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm feeling like my references are pretty on point to start the show.
Okay.
Let's go back to Willson Contreras. I love a good on-field blow-up, Hambone. I really
Yes.
do. As the broadcast said this, and I don't, if I heard it correctly, I'm not sure, but that this was the first ejection of a player from the Cardinals this season.
Huh.
I don't know if that's true, if I heard it correctly, but if it is true, what an utter failure of this organization. Just throw it on the pile. I think you got to get out there. You got to be aiming for a John Boy feature at least a few times a year. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but I think it's because Marmol sucks up all the air in the room. I believe he is now leading the league in ejections. So I think there'd probably be more room for that if he wasn't doing
That's
it.
true. And as far as in-game strategy goes, that's really the optimal way. Your manager gets tossed instead of the player, so he's doing what he's supposed to do.
Right.
But I feel like we need more Cardinals out there drawing imaginary lines on the field, picking up bases, moving them around, that sort of thing. It's just it's one of the highlights of baseball, in my opinion, and it is the only argument I will listen to for why we should not have robot umpires, is I want my guys out there in the face just screaming, get your money's worth, as they say.
Yeah, your future is going to come to fruition, and I think I can't wait for that, because I think I will be proven right ultimately, and I think it will take away from the game.
Get out of my face.
But I think it's, this Willson Contreras thing is like a day late and $1 short. Like, if you want to get fired up 2 months ago. We're already, we are 6.5 games back in the wild card. We are in fourth place in a not amazing Central.
Yeah.
We are underneath the Reds right now. So, I'm sure that this is out of frustration more than anything, of just like the team's not doing well. He's still here. Maybe it's just all bubbled up. Also, the offense has been dog shit recently for a while, I guess. So I feel like it's probably more about that than it is about that call or about anything else. Like, honestly, maybe this same, if we had robot umps and it was called a strike, whether it was correct or incorrect, I don't even know. But maybe he still would have gotten mad. Maybe I think this was just frustration bubbling up, and we love Willson Contreras for that.
We
At
do.
least I love Willson Contreras for that. Now, catching a 6-game suspension, That seems a little aggressive to me. I feel like they threw the book at him, and I'm not exactly sure why.
Well, they threw the
Um,
book because he threw the bat. Is why, he now you can argue a lot, like he didn't throw it at someone. It did hit someone, but that clearly was not his intention. He threw the bat in frustration and it caught a Cardinal coach. But I think the hard line there is like aggressive action with material, opposite of aggression action happening on the video feed right now. Hambone is petting a cat, so we're loving it here. We're having a good time. Well, people have different thoughts and feelings about privacy on podcasts and names and things like that, so I didn't want to dox your cat if you weren't comfortable with it. No, I won't. No, the show must go on. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I think 6 is a lot. He has appealed it. It'll probably be reduced. That's usually how it goes. I do wish, for his sake, that the call had been more bad than it was. It was arguably not a bad call, so it looks particularly rough to have him going absolutely like bonanza shit on the field over something that was fine.
But it's not about that play though. It's not about that call. It's about everything.
I agree with you, but it's rough. I just wish it had also been a bad call, because at the moment you're like, pick a bad. It's almost like he chose, like, I'm gonna unload on them today, regardless of the outcome. Yeah. Like, the accuracy of the outcome. He later said that he was mad about consistency on the plate. But I think that's just, I gotta have an answer for the media.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, also, he was a catcher last year, and maybe he's always wanted, because catchers kind of have to toe the line when they're in the batter's box, right? They're always trying to like keep favor, and they, okay, if you're going to call this strike against me, call that strike against the next player too. So maybe this is years. This is 8 years or so in the making of him being like, you know what? I just realized I can lose my shit.
I can go buck wild.
It's not going to hurt my catcher. It's not going to hurt my pitching staff. It's just, I don't know. Maybe this is a culmination.
Maybe he needs to go to therapy.
No, that's not what you do. You shove that. You're from the Midwest. You shove that down deep and you crush it.
You keep it in. You keep it in, and you smile and you move ahead. Yeah, I get it.
And you throw a bat at somebody.
And take it out on some poor Haichu.
Yeah. Gum or whatever, right?
Whatever. It don't matter. 6, the struggling offense will now deal with probably 4 games without one of the few current bright spots. He's been
the best hitter in August.
Yeah, he's been hammering it. Hammered, like Chip Carey likes to say on 90% of hard hit balls, and so that's a bummer. But we'll talk more about the sort of state of play here in a little bit. We've got some injury updates to get through. Hambone, do you want to run us through those?
Yeah, Brendan Donovan is hitting off the tee, which is good news. Victor Scott II is hitting and hoping to progress to running routes later this week. Nolan Arenado has started hitting. He'll begin throwing a throwing program this week. No timetable for any 3 of those players to return at this moment. I think, it's the season is all but over. There are scenarios we can bend over backwards. It's only 6 games. That's a hot couple of weeks. Who knows?
Right.
But I think there are some good notes here. The fact that it seems like all 3 are slated to come back before the end of the year is just inherently good. And it's also getting us or allowing us to watch Nolan Gorman and Nathan Church and Sajasi, and we're getting more eyes on these guys. And I think it's extremely valuable time to watch these guys. We have too many infielders. We have too many players. And maybe this will help when decision-making time comes, at the end of the season.
I have a question for you that I've been thinking about a little bit recently. And I don't like this question, but I think it's worth discussing. Has Victor Scott done enough for us to assume that he is the starting center fielder going forward?
I don't think so. I think that he has showed that he is an extremely good defender.
Yeah,
I think that he shows he's a better hitter than Michael Ciani.
sure.
And I think he is one of the best base stealers in the league. So I think that that's all great. But I mean, we've only seen a minute of Nathan Church, but the exit velo numbers are a lot better. The defense isn't that much of a step back. Well, we still need to see. He's only been up for 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I don't think that's a sure thing at all. And I also think that I think Victor Scott could develop into a very good everyday center fielder.
Yeah.
As he continues to hit. But he also makes a lot of sense as a fourth outfielder. He also makes a lot of sense as a bench bat. He's this team is very left-handed. Maybe he is being marketed to other teams. I don't think that he is locked in center field at all.
Yeah. That's essentially how I've been feeling, and it's felt kind of bad to think that way because we've been so hyped on him, and there have been so many periods of like, this is it, this is the dude. But then when you start to look at the season as a whole, you do start to think, well, there's some clear gaps there, and the door is potentially open for someone to come in and take it from him. Personally, I would still love for Victor Scott to be the starting center fielder. Some of those skills you named, elite center field defense, one of the best base runners, he has high level MLB talent. There's can he actually hit with any sort of consistency on either average or power? And that is still an open question. And at the end of the day, good base running and good defense does not keep you in the league, or at least not as a starter.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at his Fangraphs page right now, and he maxed out in 2022 in low A in 31 games. So it's a very small sample size at a low quality baseball with a 118 WRC plus.
Yeah.
And he is kept above a 100 WRC plus up until AAA in the majors. He's sitting at 81 right now.
Yeah.
Over 402 plate appearances. So if he can be a guy, his other skills are such that if he can maintain around a 100 WRC plus, then that might be all it takes to be for him to be a starting center fielder. He is almost at 2 FWAR right now. If he comes back healthy, it seems very likely he'll eclipse that. If he advances his offense at all, we're looking at a 3.5 WAR player.
Yeah.
Take that all day.
Oh, for sure.
Not to mention he's exciting to watch. He is fun.
Yeah.
But like I said, Nathan Church is hitting the ball harder. They've toyed with Lars Nootbaar being out in center field. I would say by no means is it locked down.
Yeah. So that'll be something interesting to watch. And I also just want to throw out, of course, recognize that Victor Scott is very young. This is his first full season. It'd be if he ends the season at an 81 WRC plus with over 2 WAR as a rookie who missed a month, you'd be hard pressed to not call that a successful year. So absolutely. I don't want to downplay his work or how much fun we've had watching Victor Scott. But yeah, Nathan Church and him being out and the offensive struggles from Victor Scott, when you put it in the context of the whole team offensive struggles and the fact that they're desperately going to be looking for bats at any position they can find him, you do wonder, is he the long-term answer? And I guess we'll find out.
I will say, again, I'm just kind of poring over his Fangraphs page right now. I think that it seems it's a very normal pathway for somebody to come up, hit very light in MLB, and then start adding power. And I'm just looking at his numbers. I don't even want to talk about the homers, but he's only got 14 doubles right now and 1 triple. Now triples, there's a little bit of luck, but I
triples
bet
is best though.
Triples is best.
Triples is safe.
Triples is safe. Triples is best. You got to see Nobody too, Nate? You a big Odenkirk guy?
I really enjoyed Nobody. There were parts of it that I was like, all right, but it was a lot of fun. I mean, it's the John Wick guy, so like, and I love oh my god, I want to call him Saul Goodman.
Odenkirk. I just said
Bob
it.
Bob yeah, Bob Odenkirk. I love
Jesus.
him so much I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Huge Bob Bob
Okay.
Odenkirk.
Stop
I'm
talking.
a very big Bob Odenkirk fan. I probably won't see Nobody 2 in theaters, but I will see it.
Cool. That was a much longer answer than I was looking for, but thank you for being so in depth.
Let me take it again.
So, looking at Victor Scott, he's only, like I said, he's only got 14 doubles, 1 triple, 5 homers. I have a feeling that those doubles and triple numbers are just going to go up because he is the fastest man alive.
Right.
He'll start hitting the ball into the outfield a little bit more, running a little bit more, all that good stuff. So even that could increasing his extra base hits would make his season look a lot different. He has a 312 slugging right now.
Yeah.
Which is anemic.
And he's so fast, he doesn't even necessarily need to hit with that much more power to find more doubles.
Right.
He's just got to get it into the outfield more.
He's at 296 BABIP, which feels low for somebody of his speed. So,
yeah, but that's still
some
pretty.
Luck could.
Yeah, you're right. He could probably maintain like a 315, close to 330.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. It's just like a couple of ticks up in his offense, and he starts looking like an everyday regular.
Yeah, I agree. It was like the genesis of this question is that up until very recently, that wasn't a question to me. Right.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Victor Scott is the center fielder of the future. I had put him into the same sort of camp that I had put even a Mason Winn, obviously not as entrenched, but I was seeing Victor Scott as a core member of the future of this team. And as I started looking into it a little more, I'm like, well, is that actually the case? And so that's why I wanted to ask you. But let's move on. Speaking of Mason Winn, how are you feeling about this whole situation with Mason Winn? I guess
so
if
they
you can explain it real quick.
Yeah, he had an MRI. They showed improvement from when they looked at his knee from last month, and they said that he is not at risk for damaging it any further in the 2026 or for the 2026 season. Sorry, and the team will manage it on a day-by-day tolerance basis. I read this and I'm like, this is the guy. This is, if there is a future path to the Cardinals being good, it is going through Mason Winn Station. I'm like, shut it down. Let's get treatment. Bring up JJ. Let Fermin play short for a little bit. Like, let's do anything other than making this guy push it. I'm sure there's Mason Winn wants to push it. They're not mathematically eliminated. Maybe if they get mathematically eliminated, which should be in about 2.5 weeks, maybe Mason Winn kind of shifts it into first gear and other things start happening. But I don't love it. I don't like pushing our 23-year-old future star when there's no real purpose to it.
Yeah, I agree completely. At this all, this is just the struggle of sort of the fan side of everything is they have way more information than we do about this. Yeah. And there are lifelong medical professionals who are helping to make this decision. So it's really hard to be like truly critical of it. But from the outside looking in, I'm like, what is the point of him playing right now? Even if it's like a slight percentage chance of it becoming a bigger issue and impacting the next year, or maybe they're thinking like, well, it might hurt him this year and he just misses the rest of the year, but he'll be fine for 2026. So why not just let it go? But I know I say shut him down, extend him, and we'll see you in 2026. And he can come in with like a bigger, fatter gold chain on. You know what I mean?
There you go. Perfect. Yeah. I'm on board with all of that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. But yeah, a lot of injury news. But I think that's what also, like, we're at that stage of the season, where like injuries are going to, everyone's playing hurt all the time, right? And it's only when the games don't matter is when the smaller stuff or the rate of return, decreases and all that. So I think we just got to be ready for that over the next 5 weeks or whatever's left in the season, that like we're just going to be seeing a lot more days off, a lot more of the backups. Personally, like you have also lobbied for, I'd rather see it more of a let's get JJ up here and instead of just sort of wasting away the season, everyone taking extra days and Garrett Hampson being out there every day. Like,
Yep.
let's see JJ or whatever. But I don't know. That sort of call up, we're just now starting to enter into that time frame. You're seeing other teams doing it too, where guys are getting their sort of end of season cup of coffee. It's we'll talk about it later, but the Orioles have started to call up a couple of their high end prospects and things like that. So we're entering into that period of the season, and I'm expecting at least something from the Cardinals. But I'm just hoping at this point, so it's not just all right, Garrett Hampson City the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think it would be I think it'd be a bit of a waste to not have JJ Weatherhold at least get a couple of weeks in the bigs just to get used to it, just to get that cup of coffee. I think there's a lot of development that can happen there.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, let's talk a little bit more about the current play over the last week. You said it already, but just to reiterate, the Cardinals are 65 and 68, continuing to hover right around that 500. You know, we said it at the beginning of the year. Now we're saying it here at the middle end of the year. This is what a 500 team looks like. You sweep a good team, and then you lose a series against the Rockies. You know, you look great for a little while, you get all hyped, and then you have a losing streak and everything falls apart again. So we're kind of back in that cycle. They are fourth place in the division and 6.5 back from the wild card. But on a bright spot, the continuing story of Nolan Gorman still looking pretty good. He had a bomb last night. I think most importantly, what do you have here? He's got a 17% walk rate in August with an OBP of 383. I mean, that is, well, we're arguably at like best case scenario of Nolan Gorman right now with a near 400 OBP and hitting a dinger every few games. Like, this might be it, and it's great. I'm loving it. I'm Justin Timberlake in 2001. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I'll say that homer he hit last night too was a laser shot.
Yeah.
Like when he hits those homers over 110 miles per hour, it's very exciting. You mentioned the walk rate. I think that's huge. He's at 13.5% on the season, which is tops in the big leagues. Not the top, but it is way up there. Which is really exciting. He's hitting the ball hard. We're seeing him take the ball the other way. The defense is not great at third base.
Yeah.
That is the only thing I'm going to ding him for. He'll make a good play every once in a while, and it makes you wonder, like, if he comes into the season knowing he's going to play third,
right,
and if he can kind of get back into that groove, get back into his third baseman, the footwork and everything like that, maybe we will have a not great, but good third baseman that's doinking dongs like this.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, like, we got a lot of left-handed bat first guys. And if he can stick at third and be relevant, that makes him infinitely more valuable than Burley or Newt or whoever else.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm back on my train of not really feeling Burley as a long-term. I know he just had a walk-off home run, so we love him. But he might end the season with under 2 WAR, which, if we remember, 2 WAR is league average. And so for all the fun that we've been having with him hitting okay, like, he's pacing towards a not that exceptional season. But back on Gorman, I went on a whole spiel about his defense in last week's episode. I won't repeat the whole thing, but I will say, let's remember that he played second base for the first time in his entire career, basically at the major league level. And he turned himself into a reasonable second baseman.
For sure.
Right. So we've seen him able to grow at the major league level defensively and become something that isn't a terrible performer. Low bar to clear, I know, but to your point, if he's hitting 35 home runs, that tolerance for defense becomes a lot looser. And I don't know. He played third for a long time. He still is considered capable of playing third. Like you said, we see it sometimes. We just also see what it looks like for a guy who hasn't really played third at the major league level in a long time. So I'm still on board with just, especially now, with the way the season is, like, let him stick there for 6 weeks, like maybe Arenado comes back as a DH. I know that's crazy, but if they're worried about him being hurt and the thing we need him to get better at is hitting, maybe he just comes back to DH and we just let Gorman continue to pick it at third just to keep practicing. I mean, it feels insane to have Arenado at DH and Gorman at third, but what does it matter? What skills are we trying to develop?
I'll tell you, I think that you were right, and that is the way that it probably should be handled. I also been kind of thinking about this week and just like, what is the future state of the Cardinals and the Chaim Blooms and all that going to look like? And I'm calling it. There's just no way Nolan Arenado is a Cardinal next year. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that Chaim Bloom moves him. I think that he somehow convinces the DeWitts to take on enough money to get that contract moved. And I think a team who is just desperate for defense and maybe thinks they can unclick something with him offensively, I think somebody will take a chance.
Yeah.
Be a team that, has money to throw around, maybe the Mets or who knows.
Well, and also that Arenado will approve, which is, again, the big wild card in the whole thing. But maybe another full season of disappointment as the St. Louis Cardinal will change his mind on that a little bit.
That's the other thing I was thinking about when I was having this little internal conversation with myself is Cardinals are not going
to Ben just sitting in a blank room talking to himself.
God, I wish I had a blank room. I would use it.
Don't we all?
I don't think the Cardinals are going to be competitive next year. It seems very unlikely that they're going to be competitive the year after that. It's most of Arenado's remaining contract.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty easy to sell this. Hey, my name's Chaim Bloom. Nice to meet you. We are going to be rebuilding a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's move you.
You think they're just you think they're just meeting this offseason?
Well, yeah. Chaim Bloom has only been focused on the minor leagues.
True.
Nathan.
True. He's never
been segmented.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe an email correspondence, but
sure. Maybe a tweet here and there. Over on the Everything
a post
website.
on X.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I really think that that's going to happen. So what I'm getting at is that it makes a lot of sense. Why do anything more with Nolan Arenado if he's not going to be here? Now, the clubhouse of it all, like, that might be awkward and weird, but it is what it is.
Well, if you frame it all, if he's in a throwing program, there's certainly something going on with the shoulder. And maybe there's an argument to say, like, we don't want you to throw your shoulder out in the last 2 weeks of meaningless baseball.
We love your shoulder.
We love that.
Don't
hurt
it.
We do love that shoulder, don't we, folks? We love a good Arenado
what
shoulder.
What if Ali Marmol just fills out the lineup card and just says Nolan on it, and then at the last second he runs up and puts Gorman?
Yeah, and then a little hidden ball trick. But which Nolan is it?
I don't know.
Hey, speaking of shoulder, I had some great pork shoulder skewers at the Festival of Nations this weekend here in St. Louis. It was incredible. If you're listening, I hope you went to the event. If you did not, I hope you consider it next year. It's a ton of fun.
Do you fucking work for them or something? What are you doing right now?
I'm just repping my city, bro. God. It was a great time. People love St. Louisans. St. Louisans love to shit on St. Louis, and I get it. But there's some cool shit happening, and Festival of Nations is one of those cool things. So
wow, amazing.
Go check it out. Get some Vietnamese pork skewers. It's good.
Completely irrelevant to the conversation we're having.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I feel like it was deeply relevant. A shoulder conversation. I'm talking about shoulders. Shut up. All right. Let's talk about Nathan Church a little bit. We have to some degree now, but we're still in big time small sample size territory, but
big time small.
But we're getting out of it. Like, how you feeling about Nathan Church?
He's yet to walk, Nate.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Why walk when you can run?
Why walk? He's fast as hell. I'll give you that. He is very fast. I think he looks really good in center field. I think he has hit the ball harder. I referenced this earlier. I think he's hit the ball a little harder than I expected him to. I'm not saying this is the guy. We've only seen him play 6 games and a handful of plate appearances, but I think he looks pretty good. I think he can handle the bat well. He can run the bases well. He can play center field well. He is another lefty. He
Gotta
isn't
have more
particularly
lefties.
powerful or anything
Yeah.
like that. But I would say just purely eyeball test, so far so good. I have no complaints. I'd like to see more of him. I think that he makes more sense on the roster than a couple of other guys that we've complained
Sure.
about. So I don't see any, unless he craters, absolutely. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be on the team for the remainder of the year.
Yeah, like again, digging into some of the underlying metrics here, 19 batted balls. So there's some good and some bad in here. 1 barrel ham bone and a launch angle of 3.4.
Yeah.
But exit velocity 89.7. I mean, that's kind of league average, but for a guy brand new to the league, you
Well,
like to
also-
see him starting to hit the ball kind of hard.
Think about the pitchers that he's gone up against.
True.
The Marlins guys. We just had Mitch Keller dominate the Cardinals. Like, that has not been the easiest. Now, that is also part of being in the major leagues is you're facing a pretty good pitcher almost every night.
Yeah.
So, caveat. But
Even with that low launch angle, expected batting average of 302 and expected slugging of 484.
Yeah.
So it's a 42% hard hit rate. Yeah, he hasn't walked at all, literally 0%, but his strikeout rate is 16.7. So he's basically just putting contact on the ball a lot, We'd love to see more than no walks, but if it's not matched with a high strikeout rate, then it's a different kind of problem. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's fun so far, and this is at least sort of a fun spot of maybe we're seeing a future member of the team, break out now.
yeah, I think there's just a lot of tools there, and it's early, and we'll see what happens. But he really looks like a center fielder, which is great.
Yeah, and considering the just had Victor Scott conversation, it's good to start to know who maybe like the next up is if you are worried about the long-term sustainability there.
It's funny, Nathan Church older than Victor Scott. So another thing to say, Victor Scott could absolutely just take this over.
Absolutely. It's a good reminder again, like you said, of just how young Victor Scott is and how fair we need to be to him and his MLB development.
Right.
On the flip side, you want to talk about Andre Pallante. We're coming off of the Tuesday night game against the powerhouse, the buzzsaw that is the Pittsburgh Pirates. I mean, no one's getting out of that game alive, obviously, but Pallante really struggled. What are we doing with Pallante at this point?
All right, we don't have to dwell on this. I'm getting the sense you don't really want to talk about this. That's fine. But I did just want to wanted to highlight this August performance.
Yeah.
I'm calling it the Pallante Problem. Do you like that alliteration?
Oh, yeah, it's good. Good.
Yeah. In August, he has given up 24 earned runs over 22 innings pitched. Over that same time period, he has 19 strikeouts. For what it is worth, his BABIP is 403 in August. So obviously there's some unluck there. That being said, his fielding independent pitching is 6.12.
When you give up a lot of hard contact, your BABIP is going to be high,
Yeah. His ERA is like 9.8 in the month of August. His FIP is 6.12. So it is bad. But I just thought it'd be nice to say that it's not as bad as it could be. What's really crazy is that his season launch angle is 0.9. It's essentially 0. We all know this. He makes guys pound it into the ground.
Yeah.
That's what he does. In the month of August, that has jumped to 7.6, which for most pitchers who are effective, that's not that significant, but a over 7-point jump, a right at 7-point jump in August is massive. What's funny also is that he is posting slightly lower hard hit rates than he has for the remainder of the year. But I think what we're finding out is that people are able to lift the ball.
They're lifting it,
right now. So they're probably swinging and missing a little bit or mishitting a little bit. But when they are making contact, it is laser beams.
Yeah, the
all
book
over
is
the
out.
field.
Go up there and go, go for the fly ball against him, because there's not much going on with the ball, so you can just crank it.
Every pitch is rating poorly.
Yeah.
The plate discipline against him is rating out poorly. People are actually swinging out of the zone on him even more this month than they are normally, and just crushing him.
Which is,
Like,
normally you'd say, okay, that's a good thing. Getting outside of zone swings is what you want from a pitcher who has movement. But what it's telling you is people are going up there ready to tee off. They're just watching it, just swinging, just ready to crush one, feeling no real concern about the swing and miss, because they know if they go up there and up, they're going to get a hold of one.
he doesn't have an out pitch,
Yeah.
and it's hard to be a 2-pitch pitcher in MLB. It's almost impossible to be a no-pitch pitcher, and that's where Pallante has found himself.
Yeah, I'm
right
kind of different. Yeah, I'm a no-pitch pitcher.
Yeah.
I don't do it the way others do it.
I beat to the sound of my own drum.
I don't gotta pitch.
Yeah.
You like this
so
guy?
it's okay. I also was looking. He has the 5th worst win probability added of anyone in baseball this year.
Cool.
Cool. There's just it's pitchers can make adjustments. Sean Manaea changed the way he threw the ball last year. He ended up making like $70 million and looks like he has, extended his career. Anything can happen. Pitchers can change. But the way that Andre Pallante is currently pitching and performing, and the way that he is spinning the ball, is not major league quality.
Yeah, agreed. So that then leads to the next question: is what do you do with him? Is it he's converted to the bullpen? Maybe if he's throwing with more abandon because it's a short outing, he can really get that spin rate going. The luck rate on the ground ball should be minimized because you're only getting a few a game. Maybe he can be a successful reliever. Or are you retooling? Are you going back to AAA and retooling and hoping to find that new version of yourself?
I think that we need to start throwing spaghetti at the wall. Let's start throwing a changeup, Pallante. Let's see what else you got. Let's try anything else. We know that you can get one of the best. He has actually outpaced Jose Soriano. Has the best ground ball rate in MLB this year.
Well, this last month I'm sure hasn't helped.
Sure.
I wonder when those crossed, when the beams crossed.
What's crazy is that he is outpacing Pallante by 5%. It's not slightly; it's 5%. Jose Soriano's having a crazy year right now. He's also giving up a fewer line drives, and obviously he's just he's striking more people out. He's like, if Pallante could ascend, it would be Jose Soriano. But
to be fair, Jose Soriano, how many years has he been in the league now? He's been pitching for
3 or 4.
That's and he's not having like a Cy Young year or anything, but he's become an effective MLB pitcher. Most teams would be happy to have a Jose Soriano now. It took him a while to get there. I think most believe he still has another level, though. Those strikeouts, he's like a guy who you would. It's like the same thing as like a Jordan Hicks, totally different style. But like those guys where you think like, how is this guy not striking everyone out? But they're not. So some people think he's still got another level of strikeouts maybe down the line.
He also has. He's like one of those guys that like the arm talent alone. It's just like it is. Ungodly. He'll click in at some point. I agree, but with Pallante, I think it's maybe the relief path. I think it's a new pitch. Maybe he starts throwing a cutter instead of a sinker. I don't know. But something has to change. It's just not working. His reverse splits aren't a real thing anymore. It's, however you slice it, it's going bad.
Yeah. And he might just now be seen as, well, it's almost September. And I guess we have Quinn Matthews, but there's no shortage of Like we could call up another pitcher and still have Pallante out there. Like there's a need for these innings. So they may just continue to run him out this season as a starter, but I don't know if that's the right call. And I certainly think at this point you cannot assume or you cannot pencil him in as a part of the 2026 rotation.
Yeah, and
One way
I
or
think it
another.
just goes back to I think we should just kind of bias towards seeing what we have a little
Yeah.
bit more. Like just let's go see what a Quinn Matthews looks like. Let's go see what
Yeah.
a Kyle Leahy start looks like.
Well, that is certainly, I mean, Kyle Leahy, it's on the path right now. They're working him up to be like piggyback sort of thing, which maybe it'll be piggyback with a Quinn Matthews, let him
Yeah.
come up and do 3 innings and then piggyback Kyle Leahy. I don't know. I haven't heard anything like that at all. But I'm also not the most plugged in on that news. So maybe there's more, maybe we'll learn more soon. But again, like we're not in September yet. A lot of teams wait until that September turnover to actually call up those guys. But I don't know. We've seen that, like, I think back to 2023, the last season the Cardinals had like a full sale, like it's done sort of thing. And it was the Drew Rom September, where they were just throwing them out there.
So funny you say that. I was just gonna say, who's pitching in AAA right now is Drew Rom.
God,
yeah.
Poor guy.
He's got a 5.65 ERA in AAA.
Yeah, poor guy. He was the first one who came out to talk at the winter warm-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard out there.
Yeah, it's hard out there. All right. Well, let's end this section on a positive note as far as the rotation goes. Michael McGreevy. Not surprisingly, frankly, we've been talking about it all season. He's pretty well locked in at this point as a member of the Cardinals rotation going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he's been great. Like there is, we talked about it the other week. It's like, this isn't the guy. He's not like the savior or anything like that. But he has been the best pitcher for the Cardinals. Him and Kyle Leahy have been the best pitcher for the Cardinals since the All-Star break, which is, I just would have assumed Sonny Gray. I would have assumed a lot of other people, but those two have been the most effective. And I think we've gotten good performances from other guys, obviously. But the fact that he has been extremely steady, he's been effective enough. He's rocking, his FIP and XFIP and all these kind of auxiliary numbers are looking well. He's got 41 innings pitched in that time period, which does lead the team. This is now, if this guy was our fourth or fifth starter, rather than having Miles Mikolas and Andre Pallante, you are very happy about how your rotation is shaping up.
Absolutely. This is when we'll get to the point where we look back on this season and we pick out what were the good outcomes of 2025. And I think without a doubt, the ascension of McGreevy to being a successful MLB starter is absolutely one of the core successes of this year. Not just because of him and his growth and all that on a personal level, but just from a team need standpoint. Like we need more than one, but we needed at least one more guy after Liberatore to evolve. And right now, I mean, I think we both would agree Liberatore has a far higher ceiling. But right now, if you were picking like one guy to win a game for you on the Cardinal rotation, you might go McGreevy over Liberatore or even over Sonny Gray.
No, I'm going Sonny Gray.
I know.
All that being said, I want to put some, because we were talking about this in the Bird Scored. I'm very happy about McGreevy, but I also want to talk to Nick Pollock about, can I be happy about McGreevy?
I know. We've been down this road before, and frankly, we could probably just look at his website. They do. It's one of my favorite sites. It's kind of how I ended up having the idea to have him on the show. They do pitcher breakdowns. I've not read his take on McGreevy. I'm almost afraid to. Pitcher list to come. But yeah, we'll probably, assuming he wants to come back. I mean, it seemed like a nice conversation. Assuming we can get him back on the show for next year, I'd love to do a similar thing that we did with him this year and just sort of break down the Cardinal pitching before the season, because he kind of turned out to be right on everything. Which was, sad.
And just looking it up really quick, Pitcher List has McGreevy as the 95th ranked starter in baseball. So top 100.
Yeah,
Again, we're talking about a 4th or 5th starter. This feels pretty good.
Well, that's pretty good. And I should also clarify that that is a ranking system that is geared towards fantasy baseball. And so strikeouts are going to be even more valued on a ranking system like that. I mean, they're highly valued in all of baseball, but a guy who is not strikeout first is going to inherently be lower. Now, you could argue that is just how real baseball values it too, but it is important to know like that's looking at strikeouts and also like chances to get wins, you know? So he's like probably lower because he's a Cardinal. Whereas if McGreevy was like on the Dodgers, he'd probably be higher because his win chance is higher, you know? But all that said, like you said, 95 out of all of starters, you'll take that, especially in your rookie year.
100%.
Yeah. All right. Positive ending. Any other notes you want to talk about with the current Cardinals before we get into the back half of the show?
No. We're just limping towards the end, 80.
Yep. Yes, we are. Well,
Willson getting benched for the next series or two is such a bummer.
I know.
It's just like making this team is just a little hard to watch right now.
Yeah, and also maybe some of us like just traded for him in a dynasty baseball league for a final end of season push. So like not helping your boy out, Willie.
No one cares.
I care. And
no.
Yeah, so that's good. We're gonna go into the back half of the show. We're gonna talk about the upcoming series, some league news, and play a little game. But before we do that, we would love to remind our listeners that this show is listener supported on patreon.com. Patreon.com/talkingaboutbirds, where you can find all your Talking About Birds needs. We've got tiers of different levels that provide access to different things. But any subscriber gets access to the Bird Scored. It's a private podcast Discord. It's a big chat group, basically. We're having a lot of fun in there, regardless of the outcome of the season. It's good to have a place to go to and talk to other Cardinal fans without the noise of all the other bullshit social media that's out there. Come to our bullshit social media. It's cool. We're having a good time in there. That again is patreon.com/talkingaboutbirds. We also appreciate anyone and everyone who leaves us a review on their favorite podcast platform. And of course, tell your friends. That really helps. Hambone, where else can people find all of our links and stuff?
You can find us on Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok. You can listen to the show on Spotify and like and review there as well. You can watch this podcast on YouTube, Talking About Birds on YouTube. Check us out there. You can find all the links for the podcast, everything, T-shirts, whatever you want at talkingaboutbirds.com. You can email us. You can email us at talkaboutbirds@gmail.com. And of course, you can call us and leave a voicemail or send us a text message to 848-48-BIRDS. That's 848-482-4737.
848-48-BIRDS. All right. Hambone, we got a couple series coming up, as you might expect. I guess if you're still a believer that the Cardinals,
you got to win this next series. It's a must-win scenario.
We are in must-win. We are in must-win territory. I mean, we arguably have been for a while, but now we're at end of August, end of Augie Doggy. We're into September. You got to win these games. The Cardinals are going to the Great American Ballpark for a 3-game set against the Reds. We've talked about the Reds all season. They are a high-risk, high-reward team. They've got some of the best players in baseball on their team, but also all of them strike out too much. Yep. So, fortunately, our ragtag crew of high strikeout pitchers are just the thing we need to go in there and tear them apart. But there's a few guys struggling, like Ellie has been really struggling. But you never know with that guy. He could turn it on in a day and go back to MVP level. But also Noel Marte is back and seemingly is back to pre-suspension, quality. He's looking pretty good. Hunter Green is healthy, one of the best pitchers in baseball. So I don't know. It's going to be a tough series. It always is when the Cardinals go to Cincinnati, and it is a bandbox there. We all know that. If this is the series that they lose Willson in, it's going to be particularly difficult because you'd hope to fight fire with fire a little bit, but he probably won't be there. Yeah, how are you feeling about this matchup?
Yeah, it's, these are two extremely flawed teams, but I think the Reds unfortunately have a little more high-end talent. They still have a decent bullpen, but like you said, a lot of their good players are cold right now. Matt McLain has just like really never come online this season,
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people are surprised by, including myself. But yeah, it looks like the Cardinals are going to draw Zach Littell, Andrew Abbott, and Brady Singer, who, Nate, I don't want to say I told you so, but Brady Singer having a pretty nice job or pretty nice season over there with the Reds this year. I feel like, I may have called that.
I feel like I'm still right here.
Yeah, I feel like I may have called that. But not, there's no Hunter Green, which is good for your St. Louis Cardinals. But all three of those guys are having good, Zach Littell's kind of a sneaky good pitcher. Abbott's got a lot of stuff, and Brady Singer can when he's right.
Yeah.
Outside of that, they have a lot of people that are hurt right now, which I think is also kind of why they are not really ascending, other than their real swing and miss problems. But Chase Burns is down. Nick Lodolo is hurt again. They have a lot of pitcher injuries right now. So yeah, I think this should be a pretty even matchup, and whether we're still in it or not, I think it would be really fun to just beat the Reds because it feels good.
Reds. Yeah. All right. But I just looked it up too, and it's an unfortunate situation where we both can claim to be right and both be wrong at the same time. So I said the Jonathan India Brady Singer swap was bad for both sides.
Yeah.
Both of these guys are going to be bad on their new teams. You said incorrect. They're both going to be good for their new teams. Yep. I will give you Brady Singer, 2.5 F4 in the season. You got to call that a success. Jonathan India, negative 0.2 F4 for the Kansas City Royals. So
wait, do you say -2 or -0.2?
Negative 0.2.
Okay. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I don't think nobody makes it to -2 on a team that's pretending to be competitive. But yeah, he's been bad. He just doesn't have the power. That's the worst ballpark for him to go to, or one of the worst ones for him to go to. And that whole team, the offense just hasn't been as good this year. So he's been bad, but Singer's been good. So I'll give you that.
All right.
Damn, we're both right. Fuck. I like it when I'm right. Not you.
I know you do. I know.
I kind of feel like I'm still right. All right.
Bet you do.
After that, the Athletics, who we just saw, come to St. Louis 4-3.
Yeah.
Wait, did we just see them? I'm thinking of the Rays.
We did not. We did not.
I'm thinking of the Rays. I was thinking of not at normal ballpark teams. Yeah, the Athletics come to St. Louis. I mean, this is like, if you forget all about all of the bullshit that surrounds them at the ownership level, this team is still not quite there, but it's a fun team. There's a lot of guys to like on this team. We've actually talked about them quite a lot this season. Butler is fun. He's been struggling a little bit, not having the season people thought. The strikeout rate is too high. But then you've also got Tyler Soderstrom, who's completely broken out and looks like a power hitting beast for the next decade, as well as Brent Rooker still doing his thing. I think Zach Geloff is back up, someone who you and I both have been hyped on at different times in the year, or in his career. So there's some good pieces there. You like to think this is a team the Cardinals should be able to beat if we're still believing to be in it, but they can also hit the ball really hard. And I don't know if we match up super well from a pitching standpoint.
No, we really don't. This team can absolutely bang. Jacob Willson is on fire right now. He's a very interesting player that I really like watching. And Nick Kurtz, let's not forget about him. But this guy is a doinker of dongs.
Dude, he's going to get MVP votes, and he didn't come up until like May,
Yeah. I think he is like the next coming of Pete Alonso, maybe with more power. He is I think
higher batting average too. He looks to me, this is getting ahead of myself probably, but he's more like of the Freddie Freeman mold, high average, high power. He's going to do it all.
I think he is a home run hitter. If he can maintain that high average, I will be very surprised. But
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
think he is a real deal power hitter. That
Yeah,
is
that's
not
fair.
not to be
What
argued.
would you say? So Alonso is like 260, 40 bombs, and Freeman's like 325 bombs, kind of.
Yeah, I mean Freeman's a career over 300
Yeah,
batter. That is
yeah,
like there's nobody in baseball doing that
yeah.
right now.
That's fair.
I
Yeah,
believe we are on track to have the fewest 300 hitters in a season, a full season ever this year, and
yeah.
Freeman is one of those few.
Not surprised.
But all that's I really believe in Nick Kurtz. He's going to be good. I really believe in Brent Rooker, Shea Langoliers. This team can absolutely out hit the Cardinals. The problem is their pitching is god awful. The Cardinals are going to be drawing Osvaldo Bido, Luis Morales, and Jeffrey Springs. Their bullpen is really not good. They're all up and down. There's not really a pitcher to be afraid of on this team. I
Yeah.
guess the one who was having a nice year, Jacob Lopez, he just went down on the IL. So the Cardinals aren't going to see him, of course. But this should be a slugfest. That's what I would expect.
Yeah, I will say, do not sleep on Luis Morales. Very small sample size at the major league level, but he is a guy that has kind of rapidly risen this year and has had success at the major league level right out of the gates. So he might be a tougher matchup than you're expecting, considering probably most people don't know his name and he's only made a handful of starts at this point. But he's been good.
He's facing off against Miles Michaelis, so we'll look forward to the rubber match that night.
Yeah, he's already put up 0.4 WAR in 15.2 major league innings.
Yeah.
So he's already like the Cardinals' second best starter.
Yeah, that's
but
yeah.
high walk rate,
Yeah.
so he's still new, so we'll see. But
anything is possible.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. On a boat. All right, let's get into some league news.
Yeah, big news in the playoff race this week. Phillies ace Zack Wheeler underwent a surgery to remove a blood clot from his throwing shoulder, and it turns out he is also going to face another surgery. It looks like he has been recommended to get thoracic outlet syndrome surgery. They're going to have to decompress. If you remember, Jaime Garcia had a very similar issue years and years ago, which
Chris Carpenter did too. I had forgotten about that while I was reading about this a little bit. This was what some people pointed to as Chris Carpenter's sort of injury that got him out of the game. It just hurt too much to pitch.
Yeah. So obviously not something you want to see with, I think some people argue Zack Wheeler's the best pitcher in baseball because he's been doing it for so long. He's just been, he's been healthy and he's been effective for a very long time at this point. And I hope this is not the thing that derails him in his career. Obviously not great news for the Phillies, who, are going to make a deep playoff run, I would think still. And luckily for them, they still have, Christopher Sanchez and Jesus Luzardo and Ranger Suarez, and they'll be okay. I would think so. But it makes Christopher Sanchez have to be good. It makes Jesus Luzardo have to be good.
We had that conversation a week or two ago about like, what is an ace? Is it the best pitcher on your team, or is it only reserved for like the best pitchers in baseball? And Zack Wheeler is unequivocally the latter. He is one of the best pitchers in baseball. And I don't know, was maybe starting to approach Hall of Fame pace. His early career was probably not good enough to get there, but he's certainly Hall of Very Good at the least. Now, an interesting thing with him is that he had already announced his retirement after the 2027 season, which is when his contract is over. So there is some speculation that he may just call it quits early with the intensity of this surgery and the road to recovery, considering that, he may not be really healthy again fully until that 2027 season. He may not want to do it. But there's also, for every argument that way, that you could see him arguing, well, I want to end strong. I want to have a good last season. I could also see, what if he changes his mind entirely about retirement because he misses a year or something, but this is not a This is not an easy road to recovery from my understanding. This
No.
has been a career ender for some guys. And so you could totally see why someone who's already got the bag, highly respected, was already planning on retiring, might think, well, I'm good.
Yeah,
You know?
I obviously I think when a player can have control over when their career ends, that's ideal.
Of course.
I just have a feeling that competitive juices, obviously
Yeah.
money is not needed, but he wants to
You
win.
just don't get a lot of guys who announce their retirement like years in advance, and it's still arguably like a little young for their skill set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when someone like that, when he says, I want to get out before I'm too old and injured to pitch, that is a mindset that we've seen. There have been other guys like that, and it's that type of guy that usually will retire early.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Well, this definitely changes the equation.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll see. But it's a bummer. It's bad for baseball. It stinks.
Yeah.
All right. Something that's good for baseball is that the Orioles actually did something that wasn't stupid. The Orioles decided to extend super prospect Samuel Basallo to an 8-year extension, reportedly guaranteed $67 million. Nate, this guy has 9 games at the majors so far. He has done nothing because he hasn't had time to do anything, but obviously a really well-regarded prospect, a catcher, a slugging catcher, which is really fun. And I think it's an interesting deal because finally the Orioles cling on to one of these youngsters. And I also think it's interesting because this kind of spells to me that Adley Rutschman is not going to be an Oriole forever, and maybe move sooner than later. But it's good to see a young man get money. It's good to see the Orioles try to retain talent. Those are both good things.
Yeah, this guy projects to be, one of the power hitters of the league. One of the young power hitters of the league. We'll see how long he sticks at catcher. He's already going back and forth between that and first base. I think there's a presumption that he will be a long-term first baseman, but he's young enough that he can probably stick at catcher for a while. And especially with if Adley is on his way out, then it's an obvious transition. But yeah, it's fun. I mean, I'm always jealous when this happens because this is exactly what we want the Cardinals to do. And yeah, it doesn't work out sometimes, but 67 million, which over 8 years is what, like 8 million or whatever a year, 8 or not, like that's a drop in the bucket for these guys. So why not?
Maybe the Orioles will be good again. We'll see.
They certainly have I hate to say this, but like if you're trying to decide between being a future Cardinal fan or Oriole fan, like you're probably still picking the Orioles as far 100%, as like 100%. Near-term future success, so they've got they've got a lot of problems. I think you can have similar distrust in their overall decision-making organization, but they've got a fun set of young players on that team also.
Yeah. Nate, if you had to vote today, who's your AL MVP?
It's a fun question because until the last month before the injury, Aaron Judge was the obvious choice.
Yeah.
But I believe there's a new Fangraphs WAR leader in the AL, and that man goes by the name of Big Dumper. And he gets my vote, Hambo. And how do you not?
You have to. He's a switch hitting catcher. He just set the record. He's the first catcher primary catcher in Major League history to have 50 home runs. Looks like he's not slowing down at all. He had a bit of a dip in the season, and he has turned it right back on.
Yeah.
Not to mention he's an above average defensive catcher.
And he's got like 14 stolen bases.
I was just going to say, Nate, he is on track to have a 50-20 season as a primary catcher.
And his name is the Big Dumper.
It is incredible.
The Big Dumper is about to be like would have more stolen bases than everyone on the Cardinals except for Victor Scott.
It's absolutely incredible what he's doing.
And he's a nice guy.
I'm
going to find him.
I like Kyle Raleigh. I'll say it.
Yeah. I need to go to the stadium out there and get some little dumpers too.
Yeah, you do.
The dumplings they sell there.
Oh yeah, okay. I forgot what that was.
I can tell.
I'll just say yes.
Yeah, thank you. Yes,
But I
and
agree, Nate. I think he is the one that I would vote for. Mostly because it's just exciting to have somebody else. But like, what could be more valuable than the best hitter on your team being a catcher? That is an
yeah,
advantage that only the Dodgers have because they have Shohei Ohtani. That is a advantage. Like Shohei Ohtani, you have the advantage of essentially having a free pitcher or a
yeah,
free hitter, however you want to look at it. The Mariners have an advantage that no other team has because they have Cal Raleigh, a catcher,
yeah.
and it's amazing. He's
And it's
also
exactly what their team needs
yes,
in that ballpark, and all the things we know about the Mariners. Like it's the perfect thing for them.
he's played 130 games this year.
Yeah,
It is it's dumper power. I don't know how you can do that, but he's doing it.
we need a.
Um,
I think every team needs to look in the mirror right now and say we need a bigger dumper.
we need a bigger dumper. If
We need a bigger
if
dumper.
do you think Cal Raleigh will break Aaron Judge's AL home run record?
He's got a lot of work to do in 5 weeks.
Yeah.
That the like. Well, he only hit like 2 in like 3 or 4 weeks or something like that. It really killed the pace for that.
Yeah.
But what's he need? 3 a week for the rest of the season? He's
Uh,
hitting 2 a game
no, like
sometimes.
two a week. 2 a week.
Yeah.
And yeah, Fangraphs says that he's going to hit 7 more, so that'd be total him at 57. That's what the projection systems say. The Zips says.
Yeah.
So if he outpaces the Zips, well, if he doubles the Zips, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a lot.
A little less than that, but
yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if he goes on a heater. Who knows? And,
Yeah, I mean, it's silly to split the difference here, but it's like 60 feels in reach for him.
And last thing in the news is that our buddy Ron Washington returned to the Angels over this weekend and announced that he had a quadruple bypass surgery. He was quoted in saying, "I miss baseball." He intends to come back, Nate. Not this year.
Yeah.
Next year. I feel like first off, I'm glad he's feeling better. I'm glad that things
Yes.
are going in the right direction. It does feel like he's going to die in a dugout at some
But
point.
we said that when this was all announced. I cannot
Yeah.
believe he's gonna try to come back. I mean, good for him. I hope he gets what he wants and he keels over. Right after a Mike Trout home run here in 2026 or whatever, and then the Angels rally and miss the playoffs by 2 games in Ron Washington's honor.
What a beautiful, beautiful end to a baseball life that would be.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I got for league news, Nate H.
All right, Hambone, we're going to wrap this up. We're returning to a game that I did a couple months ago that I had a lot of fun with. So I thought I'd do it again and expand it a little bit, make it even more challenging for you. We're coming back to talking about words, pun edition. So
Wow.
the way this works is I am going to give you a clue about a player and
Okay.
the pun in which they're involved in, and you have to deliver the pun. So the last time we did it, I did all Cardinal players. This time I've expanded it to all of MLB. Now, I will say these are all household MLB names. There's nothing here that I'm not getting you with any deep cuts, or at least I would say household for us. You know all of these names. But to remind you of an example, I had this Mets pitcher may be seen hanging out in Quahog with his friends Cleveland and Quagmire. That was Peter Griffin Canning.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yes.
You get it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I was okay at this.
You were better at it than I expected. I think you got most of them. I don't think you got all of them. So this is all MLB. We'll see how you do. I think this game is either impossible or too easy. I don't know. We'll see.
All right.
All right. This Dodgers star would love for you to quit gambling.
Dodgers star would love for you to quit gambling. Wow, this Dodgers star love for you. Mookie Betts. I can't think of what the pun would be though. Mookie placing bets. Mookie. I don't know.
You're obviously in the you got the player. It's Mookie
Yeah.
Betts off. Mookie
Mookie
Betts
Betts
off.
off. All right. Yep. This game is good. Inarguably.
This stocky catcher makes surprisingly good store brand items.
This stocky catcher makes surprisingly good Kirkland, Costco, store brand items. House brand. No. Stocky catcher. Alejandro Kirkland.
Yep.
Ugh.
You got there. You said Kirkland. I'm glad you
I
went there
did.
first. We're both Costco boys, so
Hey, let's go. Double chocolate
Um,
chunk cookie.
Boom. All right. This slugging young outfielder is a fixture of 90s and 2000s pop punk.
You say it again. Slugging what outfielder?
This slugging young outfielder is a fixture of 90s and 2000s pop punk.
90s and 2000s pop punk. All right, who's a slugging young outfit? Bobby Witt is a shortstop. No, Raul Acuna Jr. Maybe not young enough. My God, a slugging young outfielder. There's so many. There's so many outfielders.
At least 3 on every team.
Jeez, slugging pop punk from the early 2000s. I have no idea. I don't even have a guess.
I'll say that this pop punk band is really important to both of us, if that helps a little bit.
No, I can't even think about the only pop punk band I can think of is Blink 182, and I can't think of whose name is Blink.
Yeah. All right. Riley Green Day.
Pop punk. I don't know if I would.
What I wrestled with that a little bit too, but I think
oversimplification.
Sure, but they fit firmly in the pop punk.
I would never. There's not a chance in the world I would have gotten that.
All right, here we go. This former Brewers shortstop loves to save the whales.
Free Willie Adames?
Yes. You got that so fast.
I did.
That was my favorite.
I'm not sure I like that. I got it so quickly. But I guess it's over sooner, so it is. That's good.
All right, I got 2 more for you, Hambo, and you're crushing it.
I can't believe somebody gave the show 1 star.
It's a perfect show. Here we go. This might be the hardest one. This slugging catcher and first baseman is a fixture in Cajun cuisine.
This slugging first baseman and catcher is a fixture in Cajun cuisine. Huh. Catcher, first baseman. Okay, who's a catcher and a first baseman? Adley Rutschman plays some first base, I guess. Willson Contreras plays first base and used to play catcher. Cal Raleigh is not a first baseman. Wow. I don't even have a guess. I can't even think of a catcher first baseman.
Red Beans and Ben Rice.
Wow. Yep. Was never going to get that one either.
I thought that was a good one.
Okay.
All right. Last one for you, Hambo, and then we'll get out of here. This Yankees ace is a refreshing sugary drink.
So Yankees ace is a refreshing sugary drink. Yankees ace. Garrett Coca-Cola? Garrett? I don't
Yes.
know. I don't know what that is a
Garrett Coca-Cola.
Yeah, that was That was a stretch. Also,
it's a
for
good
being
one.
on both sides of the name, that's like, come on now. I'm supposed to guess that?
Yeah, it's a good one. That's a good one.
Okay. All right.
So that's it for talking about birds.
Ugh.
Fun edition.
God.
I feel like you did well. Funny side note, I thought it would be funny to see if I could get like ChatGPT to come up with some of these.
Sure.
So I wrote all of those and I put them in there. I said, this is the framework of the bit. Can you give me some ideas for some more? And the first one it came up with was this young Mariners outfielder is a Nintendo icon or something like that. And the answer was Julio Rodriguez Cart. So ChatGPT, crushing it across the board right now.
Julio Rodriguez Cart.
Julio Rodriguez Cart.
I mean, I guess just instead of Mario Kart, it's Julio Rodriguez Cart.
Julio Rodriguez Cart.
Okay. All right. I mean, you're acting like that's worlds different than what you wrote. But,
fuck off. Mine are Free Willy Adames is perfect writing. Julio Rodriguez Cart is, I mean, it's good. Let's be honest. It's good.
Right. It's all gold, right?
It's good. It's gold.
Yeah.
Okay. I have started my own video game development firm, and our first product is going to be Julio Rodriguez Cart.
That makes sense. That would be good. I would play.
Yeah. Thanks. I think it would be good too.
Wow.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode. Hey, maybe at home you were playing along. Is this a great game or the greatest game? Let me know, because I sure had a lot of fun writing it, and there's probably 1,000 more of these that I could do. And maybe you have an idea for one yourself. Let me know. Talkingaboutbirds.com has links to all of the ways to contact us. And, go and check out the reviews and just plop those 5 stars. We love it. We love it, don't we, folks? 5 stars only.
We do. We really do.
Shout out again to the Patreons, and we will be back next week, as always, with another episode of Talking About Birds. And until then, go Cardinals.
Go Birds.